What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, I do want to cover Palantir. In today's video, I want to cover three very important things and just give you a general update with what's happening with Palantir. The first thing I'm going to do is cover an article that came out. Actually, it's an article that does not like Palantir. It came out by The Guardian, but that's okay. We're still going to use it. And they talk about the NHS contract and that it's coming up to give a bidder, to give a winner. And the winner is probably going to be Palantir. Now, this is an against Palantir article, but they do talk about the massive £360 million contract that's probably going to be awarded to Palantir. So I want to use that article and read it to you. The second article that I want to go over today is an article that was coming out from the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, where they're actually acknowledging that they are working with Palantir. I'm going to read you that article. I think it's pretty dope. And earlier today, I did see Chad Palantir. Shout out to Chad Palantir. He's one of the Twitter community leaders. He comes out with a quick tweet that says, hey, the FTX is going crazy right now. Back in the day when there was the Enron scandal, in order to find Bernie Madoff guilty, you needed to be able to go through all the documents, all the data. And it turns out that the government actually used Palantir Technologies, Palantir Foundry. I didn't know that. I'm sure that nobody from the Palantir community knows that. I ended up Googling the search and I found the actual article that he was referring to in his tweet. So I'm going to go over that article as well. If this is something that you're going to enjoy, if this is something that you're going to learn, maybe you're going to learn something new in this video. Maybe this is something that you never heard of or did hear about and you just want to know a little bit more about it. Or maybe you just want to support my channel. I think that you might get something out of this. So sit back, relax, grab your iced coffee. That iced coffee is so good. And just enjoy the rest of the video. But before you do, can I ask you, can you please give me a little comment down below for the algorithm? It really does help me. Give me the likes. I don't care about the share. Definitely give me a subscribe and hit that little notification bell because it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm. These videos are not easy to make to give you consistent daily updates about a topic. So any support that I could get from you definitely is appreciated by me. With that said, let's go right into the first article. As per the first article, it says controversial £360 million NHS England data platform lined up for Trump backers firm. Lined up. And again, I say that this is an against Palantir article, and that's why they're going to keep making a lot of references to Donald Trump, like being a Donald Trump supporter, you don't have freedom of speech, and that's something bad. Again, I'm not trying to be political, but it seems like everyone supporting freedom of speech is okay unless it's the freedom of speech that goes against your mindset. Anyways, it's lined up for Palantir. If you go a little bit lower, this is going to be very interesting. Clive Lewis, the Labour Member of Parliament, said, this looks like the contract has been set up to hand it to Palantir. There should be a proper debate about the use of this data so people can make an informed choice. They're saying that Palantir is going to get data or information from patients without their knowledge. Guys, at the end of the day, you have a system, a healthcare system that does not work. Palantir does not save your data. Palantir doesn't have access to your physical data. Data is put into a database and then it is combed through by your people, by you guys. Palantir does not save your data. Palantir does not keep your data. Palantir doesn't have access to your specific data. So there's definitely a misconception about what's happening right here. However, your healthcare system is broken. Your healthcare system does not work. It's time that your healthcare system gets upgraded. You need to shorten the amount of time people are waiting to be seen, and you need to optimize the facilities that you have. If you can't increase your facilities, you need to optimize the facilities that you do have. As per Jacobs Engineering, Jacobs Consulting, they use Palantir to take a power plant that was already super efficient. By industry standards, they said this was already a highly efficient plant, and they were able to increase the productivity and efficiency of the plant by 20% using proactive instead of reactive measures that are only available now that you have Palantir software. So Palantir Foundry for the freaking win. Guys, be happy that Palantir is coming to your country. Be happy that Palantir is definitely going to make your healthcare system better. Now, if you go a little bit lower, this is what I want to point out. We always say that Palantir always expands, right? They start small and then they increase. Winning the contract would be a coup for Palantir, which has initially contracted to work with the NHS during the COVID pandemic of just £1. It went on to win a $23.5 million contract in December 2020 to provide real-time information on disease prevalence and vaccinations during the outbreak. Guys, Palantir always starts small and then they expand. Military, regular government, and commercial business. This is just how Palantir functions. We show you what we could do. After we give you a little sample, you can't live without us and you really need us. But all jokes aside, Palantir makes everything better. I don't understand the absolute hate on Palantir. But at the end of the day, once you go carp, you'll never go dark. And that concludes the first part of this video. Time for the second chapter of this video, where we're going to talk a little bit about the Ministry of Defense for Ukraine, and they actually acknowledge and talk about Palantir. Go figure. This article just came out earlier today. IT chaos at the service of the armed forces. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers use various software developed by volunteers. Is such decentralization dangerous? And then if you're going to do a Control F and you're going to go into Palantir, we're going to start over here. Ukrainian developers have powerful competitors. The Ministry of Digital has engaged the developer Palantir, American company with a capitalization of $16.6 billion, has contracts with the CIA, the defense departments of the United States and Britain. Remember, this is translated from Ukrainian into English, so just keep in mind that's why the English translation is not 100%. In Ukraine, Palantir will work with units of the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff and provide situational awareness systems of various levels. They help process and combine information from satellites, drones, and other sources that make faster decisions, say Dubinsky. We hope that Palantir will not compete with Ukrainian developments, but will be able to ensure their interoperability, he says. Palantir representatives are reluctant to talk about their activities in Ukraine, citing security issues. After President Zelensky's meeting with Palantir CEO Dr. Alex Karp in June, the company started developing software that analyzes information about Russian war crimes. And I quote, which systems or systems will become the official weapon is the decision of the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff, says Dubinsky from the Ministry of Statistics. However, Ukrainian developers must be supported. We have to fight smarter and monetize it in the order to develop the economy, he adds. So this article is talking about IT in general. He's talking about the development of Ukrainian developers, and he's talking about Palantir. Now, IT is huge in Ukraine, right? Development is huge in Ukraine, software development, so on and so forth. Palantir has been with Ukraine for a while. It's definitely understated how much Palantir is doing, and I'm very happy to see an article that actually 100% solidifies that Palantir is in fact in Ukraine. Now, I did read you at least 3 articles or interviews from the Russian side where they're acknowledging a third-party software company, Palantir, even though they might not name it by name. I think one article did. So we know that Palantir is on the forefront. Now, Palantir starts small. They're going to expand. Obviously, the Ministry of Defense is going to say, hey, we want to ensure the development of, Ukrainian development, so on and so forth. And that's okay. Obviously, they're going to say that we want to protect our own developers. There's nothing else to say. And again, this is a major, major, major role. And I like what they say over here. In Ukraine, Palantir works with units of the Ministry of Defense and General Staff to provide situational awareness systems of various levels across satellites, drones, and other sources to make faster decisions, right? That's what Palantir does. I watched a video yesterday about Nexus pairing, and Nexus pairing literally answers their questions. We hope Palantir will not compete with Ukrainian developments, but will be able to ensure their interoperability. Nexus pairing ensures this interoperability. So Nexus pairing basically takes several different languages, several different time frames, several different situations, several different domains, and they translate all of that into one solid language. And that's how independent contractors, special contractors, can all communicate with each other and get it right. Palantir's Dr. Alex Karp was speaking to the project manager for Nexus Pairing. I have that video. This is a link to it right here. I did a live on it, and it was really, really unique technology. It's funny that we watched the video yesterday because Nexus Pairing is the reason why Palantir got them is kicking ass and taking names in Ukraine, and why Palantir got them is going to be able to give the Ukrainians the interoperability that they so much desire. With that said, that takes care of my second article and the second part of this video. Time to hit the last part of this video, the third article, where they're going to be talking about taking down Bernie Madoff and Enron. And that's thanks to Palantir. Guys, this is an article from 2015, so please bear that in mind. Leaked documents, Bernie Madoff convicted thanks to mysterious Palantir technology. The leaked Palantir prospectus reveals some surprising and not so surprising applications of the mysterious big data company. It turns out the largest Ponzi scheme conviction in history was the least in part the result of Palantir's mysterious data analytics software, according to leaked documents reported yesterday by TechCrunch. But it wasn't just Bernie Madoff who fell as a result of Palantir's frighteningly powerful toolset. Frighteningly powerful toolset. I freaking love it. And I quote, "It's the combination of every analytical tool you could ever dream of," said Samuel Redding, a former Marine who works with the U.S. military as a contractor, according to documents. "You will know every single bad guy in your area." Guys, that's unbelievable. For example, a firm hired by the Securities Investment Protection Corporation used Palantir software to sort through the mountains of data, over 40 years of records, to convict Ponzi schemer Bernie Madoff of all things. Other than helping convict the $65 billion Ponzi scheme, specific use cases gleaned from the documents include the Los Angeles Police Department's anti-fraud prevention learned from Palantir Foundry's time at PayPal, and several government clients, including the NSA and the Marines. Guys, add Marines to the Navy, add Marines to the Space Force, add Marines to the Air Force, add Marines to the U.S. Army, add Marines to literally every other department and sub-department of the United States military. 96% of those using Palantir products to support operations in Afghanistan actually preferred it over the military's own $2.3 billion alternative. Guys, remember we were talking about that Palantir sued the military twice? Well, this is exactly what he's talking about. So the military spent nearly $3 billion at that point until Palantir sued them. And they're like, hey, we have a cheaper, better, faster alternative. Why are you not using us? Why are you trying to build your own system? That is really, really shitty. So on and so forth. Guys, Palantir for the freaking win. I gave you 3 articles, super diverse, right? Both within our borders, both outside of our borders, both military and non-military, and applicability for everything, right? As per the Business Journal. Look, I am a fanboy of Palantir, but I have my reasons for being a fanboy. And when I read articles like this, especially this last article right here, shout out to Chad Palantard for sure for putting me on this article. Man, Palantir is a freaking monster, you know? Combed through 40 years of documents, 40 years of data. Can you imagine how much data points that is? It's freaking insane. Guys, Palantir had a nice comeback the last couple of days. Today, last time I checked, it was like down 2%. I was able to buy some on the dip. I didn't sell any of my Palantir. I'm holding on tight. And hopefully we're going to be out of this in the next 12 months. And I'm laughing because I can't cry anymore between, you know, the stock market and crypto. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have the PPI report. I'm going to be doing it live on my channel, 8 o'clock. Definitely join me. PPI stands for the Producer Price Index. That's like the wholesaler's inflation or the business inflation before it hits the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, which is our inflation, how much we pay for stuff. I hope you guys will join me. If you guys can't wait until tomorrow or next week when I'm going to come out with another Palantir video, please click on one of these amazing videos right here where I go over more stuff Palantir if you need to quench your thirst about Palantir. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Don't forget to click the like.